There are days when the world feels quieter than usual, as if the noise has died down just enough for our hearts to break in unison. Today is one of those days. The Prince of Darkness is gone. Ozzy Osbourne, the man who screamed, howled, and bled for rock and roll, has taken his final bow. At the age of 76, surrounded by his family, he slipped away from this world, leaving behind a silence louder than any amplifier ever built.
Just weeks ago, he stood on that stage one final time, frail, trembling, but defiant. The lights dimmed. The first chords of "Mama, I'm Coming Home" echoed into the night. And then it hit us. This wasn't just a concert, it was a goodbye. One fan wrote, "He's dying, that's what all this is for." Another whispered, "Ozzy's been around forever, but this is bigger than music." We watched, some in arenas, others behind screens, as he sang through a voice shaped by decades of pain, rebellion, and survival. Every lyric felt like a goodbye note. Every silence between verses, a pause for grief. And when the final note rang out, you could feel it. The end of an era.
For many, Ozzy was chaos incarnate. But behind the biting bats, the eyeliner, and the profanity was a man constantly fighting for his place in this world. Born John Michael Osbourne in Birmingham, England, 1948, he grew up in poverty, a working-class boy, misunderstood, often lost. And then came Black Sabbath. With Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, Ozzy channeled his darkness into something bigger, a sound no one had ever heard, doom-laden, unapologetic. They weren't just making music, they were building a new religion for the outcasts, the angry, the unheard. But the war didn't end with fame. Ozzy fought battles far more brutal than any stadium crowd. Addiction, mental illness, the weight of expectations. There were days he didn't think he'd live to see the next sunrise. He overdosed, he stumbled, he scared even the people who loved him most. But he kept fighting. This is a story, one fan wrote, about overcoming addiction and seeing a life all the way through. That's so rare. And they were right. Through it all, there was one constant. Sharon. Not just his wife, but his anchor, his fire, his fortress. She stood by him through madness and music, through slurred words and stadium anthems. Together, they built a family. A strange one, yes, but fiercely bonded. They opened their home to the world. They gave us laughter, reality TV, raw moments that felt uncomfortably real, because they were real. Ozzy's story was never about perfection. It was about honesty, unfiltered, terrifying, and beautiful. The body began to break. Parkinson's disease stole pieces of him, slowly, cruelly. A fall in 2019 left him unable to tour. For a man whose soul lived on stage, this was torture. But he never stopped giving. In 2022, against all odds, he rose again. At the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, his hometown, Ozzy surprised everyone. He performed just one more time. Because that's what legends do. They show up, even when it hurts. And now he's gone. Ozzy Osbourne, the voice of 1,000 screams, the father of heavy metal, the man who survived himself. His death leaves us gutted, but his life, it leaves us inspired. This wasn't just about music. It was about resilience, about climbing out of the abyss and singing, loudly, unapologetically, as only Ozzy could. So here's to the man who showed us the beauty in brokenness, who made madness sound like music, who dared to be weird, wild, and utterly human. Ozzy, wherever you are now, I hope it's loud, I hope it's free, and I hope you finally found the peace that you spent a lifetime screaming for. Rest in power. You were never meant to be quiet.
If Ozzy meant something to you, even just one song, one moment, tell us in the comments. Share your favorite memory. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because this channel will always remember the ones who shaped our hearts.